Hey, brothers and sisters. This is a mental health check-in. Um, I haven't done one in a while, so I just wanted to check in with everyone, just for us to talk about how I'm doing mentally, what I'm struggling with, if there's anything I'm struggling with, what are some positives that I can lean on and say that, I'm taking care of business. But yeah, I do feel like everyone should do a mental health check-in at least once a week, whether it's with your family, with your parents, with your siblings, your partner, your spouse, even if you have a close friend, someone you're close to, a therapist, maybe even your best friend who you tell everything. Just check in with them, once a week, just so they can know where you're at and what's going on just in your head and what you're struggling with and the things that you're like, I got this, I can do this. Because when we're able to check in with one another, when we're able to be honest with each other, it helps the people who are watching those videos, those kind of videos. When we're able to be honest and transparent about our struggles, it allows individuals to feel less alone because they know someone else is willing to talk about what's going on. And so that's really what I hope for this video, is that if there's anyone struggling with what I'm struggling with, that you feel less alone, that you feel like there's someone who understands you, someone who understands what it's like to go through whatever you're going through. So, yeah. In terms of me, I wouldn't say things are good per se. There's a couple things that happened this past week that definitely were highs, but along with the highs, there were lows, which is why I'm saying things aren't good or great. Things are kind of in the middle, balancing, and I'm at that point where I'm seeing whether it's going to balance good for me or balance bad for me. That's kind of where I'm at right now, is the waiting game of trying to see if my symptoms are going to try to give me trouble for the rest of the week, or maybe if they're going to give me a break, which is very rare. They very rarely give me a break. Are they going to step on the pedal full, and full charge ahead and try to swallow me whole, which they do often. So I'm kind of at that point right now, which is, it's a waiting game. That's really where I'm at. I have noticed this past week, even yesterday a little bit, and I'm not sure if this is because of my illness, my schizophrenia diagnosis, but this is what I've experienced, is that I am thinking about death more often. I don't mean that in a suicidal way, meaning there's no who, why, when, where, what, like there's no plan. That's not what I'm talking about. That's an entirely different conversation. So that's not what I'm referring to here. What I'm referring to here is just the concept of death and what it's going to be like to go from this life that I'm living now to whatever's next. That's what I'm thinking about a lot right now. This past week, yesterday, even a little bit today. But yeah, death has been on my mind pretty recently. And like I said, I don't know if it's related to my illness, but it's been on my mind. And it could be because of my symptoms themselves. I could see it being because of the voices I hear and what I see. Because the voices I hear 24/7, they're not kind. They're very rude. They're vulgar. They're demanding. They can be manipulative at times. And they say things that very much like what a bully would tell you, what would a bully would say to you. If anyone's ever been bullied in high school, for example, or grade school, it's kind of like that sometimes, to where they repeat the same thing over and over, and sometimes louder and louder. Sometimes they just say very incredibly mean things that have to do with hurting myself. A lot of the times what they say is about hurting myself. And so I could see why me thinking about death could be related to what I'm hearing, just because when you're hearing what I hear 24/7, seeking that break, seeking that moment of quiet, seeking that stability, that peace of mind, after a while it becomes a fantasy. After a while it becomes something you're never gonna, you're never going to attain it. And so it just becomes a figment of your imagination. Knowing you're never going to attain peace of mind, no matter how hard you try. But, yeah. So that's what's happened to me this past week. Why I haven't been posting as many YouTube videos. I usually post one every couple days, but not recently. I just have my own mental stuff going on, so yeah. In terms of the good things that are happening, I had a couple job interviews, but none of them panned out. I've been really not great in job interviews over the past several years, mostly because when I go to the job interview, the voices I hear and what I see gets in the way of things, and paranoia at times, to where I'm paranoid about what the interviewee or interviewer is saying, thinking, that they're trying to steal my thoughts, that they're trying to read my mind. So it doesn't end well when you're paranoid and hearing voices in an interview. But that's a good thing, is that I've had a few interviews, which is good, I guess. I also adopted a cat, as many of you saw on my TikTok and Instagram. Threads, I think it's called Threads, Instagram's version of Facebook, basically. But yeah, on my social media, I showed a picture of the cat I adopted. She's a sweetheart. But that's another positive. Another positive is I was reluctant on therapy and doing it again. But I've been strong. I've been doing it even though I didn't want to do it. Sometimes that's when it's the right thing to do, when your brain is trying to tell you, no, it's a bad idea. Especially when you have a mental illness like I do. My brain, my voices tell me not to do things that I should be doing. So I knew right away that it's probably something I should get back into, despite the voices telling me, oh, no, don't do it. So therapy is another positive that I've been going every week. It's been a couple months now, and I feel like it's helping just a little bit, at least. So anyways, guys, this is how I'm feeling. I just wanted to give you a 10-minute snapshot of what I'm going through right now. Like always, I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys so much. Have a great week and weekend. God bless.